Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another kind of high rating spectate, and today we're watching Jayce. Now some people may be like, Huzz, you were really good Jayce a few years ago, you don't need to learn Jayce. No, but basically this game caught my eye because I was going to do a challenge of spectate anyway, but it caught my eye for a couple reasons. Is one, I think in modern day top lane Jayce really struggles. I think a lot of the really strong top laners, the bruisers, the juggernauts, the tanks, Jayce can't really deal with well. So I think Jayce potentially can be played, but it's probably more likely to be mid. But then this game caught my attention because one, it's Jayce mid and I wanted to see how it does, but two, Yone. The Yone on the enemy team is always a problematic champion, but what was interesting to me is this Yone is not running lethal tempo, he's running fleet footwork. So this is kind of like a what's to come. That obviously lethal tempo is being removed, Yone's won't be able to use it anymore, and that gives Yone's an insane level of strength that they shouldn't have in the early game. It's like 1,000 gold worth of stats if you proc lethal tempo fully at level 1. It's crazy. So I wanted to see how this goes, because I might start playing Jayce again, because the one thing I will say is, you know, I think a lot of people can kind of see it, I'm trying to prioritize having fun and the champions that I'm playing. Obviously, that's why I've played a bit of Shaco and played a lot of Shaco recently, because I actually am finding it fun. But I think I need to also kind of rediscover some other picks that maybe I used to find fun and I need to bring them back. And Jayce was one of those champions. Obviously, Season 9 was the first year I got Master. And Jayce was a big champion that helped me get there, you know? I'm trying to think of, like, from Season 9, how many times have I been Master? And I think it's nearly every season since then. I'm hoping, obviously, this year we'll be able to break the overall record, and I think we will do it. Which is good. Probably not in Split 1, though, because that's coming to an end very soon. So, early game, you can see straight away, and this is the hilarious thing, you're seeing straight away Jayce is giving respect to the Yone. And this is even a Yone not with lethal tempo. So, like, normally, you know, you give Yone kind of that room because he can kill you, even though he's a late game hyper carry. But Jayce is just giving him a bit of respect just because it's Yone. The champion is still strong. Like, this is the thing, is I think there's been a lot of, like, dare I say, hysteria within, you know, the main community of Yone. I do pop on their subreddit every now and then because, you know, see what they're thinking. Especially about the lethal tempo change, and a lot of them I think have been a bit freaked out by it because it's given the champion way too much freedom, way too much lane phase strength than what he should have. But you can see here, like, its fleet footwork isn't so far terrible. A Jayce, who is, you know, historically a lane bully, is still kind of being like, right, I'll give you a bit of room, I don't want to all in you. Obviously, it goes without saying, it is going to make it overall harder for a Yone to do well in lane phase, but again, that's what the design should be. So the trading is starting to happen. So both champions, obviously, you know, like a lot, want level 3 to have their full rotation of spells. Obviously not including the ultimate. And the Jayce now is trying to turn up the tempo with obviously his combos, proccing phase rush, and then getting those extra auto attacks in. So obviously that's the nice thing with Jayce is, you know, he's that hybrid ranged and melee champion. I wouldn't potentially take this all in because Jayce is Fiddle's in the area, though, goes for a flash with then the flash W. So maybe Jayce went for that play because I don't think he was going to win the 1v1, but he probably went for it because he saw Fiddlesticks was in the area. Fiddlesticks did use his flash, by the way, to get the fear, and the fear was the extra little bit of CC that would have stopped the Yone instantly eating back to his body. So yeah, overall good play, nice confidence from the Jayce, but only was kind of enabled because of a gank. But it goes without saying, you have to play to the ganks. Meanwhile, Fiddlesticks, by the way, just died. Talia was in the area, and Yone TP'd back and helped kill the Fiddle. So, enemy team do get a recovery there. So, in gold tab, and it's working now, the Yone is actually ahead in gold. If you're wondering, like, minus, that is obviously with the rune that you can go into debt. I think they're getting rid of that rune, if memory serves correct. I can't remember. They might be. Obviously, this is a big minion wave, so if Jayce can get majority of this, he'll probably be completely fine when it comes to money. And he'll likely take the farm lead. Oh, very nice farm, very satisfying. So Yone's going to go back. Probably he's got his tier 2 boots. Yeah, tier 2 boots early. It's a melee versus ranged matchup, so melee champions tend to prioritize boots because they're really needing movement speed to get on the melee champion. Obviously, if you're like, will Jayce buy boots? He could, but the thing with Jayce, he actually has, well, 3 ways of getting movement speed in his kit of what he's doing at the moment. So, obviously, in ranged form, he's got the warp kind of gate that gives him movement speed. Secondly, when he transforms from melee to ranged or ranged to melee, he gets movement speed. And he's also running phase rush. He should be able to finish this in. Let's see. Bang. That was a really big kill, because obviously it's Renekton versus a Yorick. Renekton will have, obviously, lane prio, but will fall off. So any type of lane, like, bad laning, basically, for Renekton is a disaster. And he used flash for that. Yone was thinking about going for plates. Jayce comes over and goes, no. Takes the aggro from the Yone. Misses another cannon. So that is a few cannons. And I know I'm one to talk, but there's a few cannons that Jayce has missed. Trading, obviously, now level 6 has been hit. The Yone is going to start probably getting a little bit more confidence. I wouldn't even be surprised. I was about to say, wouldn't be surprised if we just see a Yone ultimate. And he timed it with his Talia. But even without that Talia, that Jayce might be dead, or at least he would have had to use flash. By the way, when he spawns, I'll go over what his rune setup is. This game has an all, though. So Renekton, Talia, Yone, Kalista, who's not running Lethality Kalista, TP back to mid lane to Jayce, and Alistar versus Yorick, Fiddle, Jayce, Tristana, and Lulu. So we'll say there's a couple champions like here that I don't really ever see. MSI, obviously, nice steal. MSI in pro play really shouldn't change what people play, but it does. You know, when was the last time I saw an Alistar? It's been a very long time. Oh, he's actually just going for it. He's like, you gank me, I'll kill you. Still has flash, gonna try and get away from the Renekton. He's got... he didn't really have anywhere to go, and Yone is also top lane. So this game is you can kind of see it's very roam intensive, and I've said it a few times, but what's kind of happening already this game is why I stopped playing mid lane predominantly. In the modern game of League, if you're playing mid and you're not roaming, you're not playing it well, if that makes sense. And I don't like roaming as a mid laner. Like, call me old-fashioned, which I know I am. If I go, I'm playing mid, I want to play mid. Like, I don't want to just roam 24/7. But unfortunately, that's part of the game. Fiddle goes for an ult. EQ Jayce hits over the Yone. He will survive just. But they probably will be able to push this in at least get 1 plate. Yeah, his rune setup, sorry. So Phase Rush, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, and Gathering Storm. So that's actually a bit helping his scaling, because obviously Jayce can struggle with scaling. And then Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, and attack damage, and then health based on level. So there we go. So yeah, so I was gonna say MSI and pro play really shouldn't make people like play specific things, but yeah, I have not seen an Alistar in ages, and then we've seen it in pro play, we've seen it in MSI, and lo and behold, it's now in high rating games. It is quite funny that it does happen. It happens every year. It's never going to change. But basically, the reason why it's twofold. One, pro play, obviously, it makes people go, oh yeah, that champion exists. There's that reason, and that's fine. The other reason, obviously, is people are going, oh, if they're playing it in pro play, that must mean it's strong. And obviously, that's just not true. The champion has to be decent to be played in pro play, but it doesn't have to be strong. Basically, pros are, for, you know, especially when it comes to something like an Alistar, they're picking it for a very set reason that works around the comp that they're drafting. And that reason may not be good for your solo queue comp. So that's, like, I would say sometimes the inherent problem. Jayce does take a tower hit, goes for the trade back. And if you're wondering there, how the hell did the Yone die? Like, he died after the fact. So in League, there's some things called animation spells. And basically, if you get a certain amount of the animation off, the spell will go off, even if someone gets a little bit away. And Jayce E is one of these. Darius's ultimate is one of these. There's a bunch of abilities that are like it, and basically if you manage to hit it at the right time when they're in range, and it's like if half of the animation goes off, the damage will still go off. You can kind of blame like League's kind of oldness for that, because it's not very like modern in that sense. I will say, and like let me know what you think down below, Riot, was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year, said that this is 2024 is going to be a big year for League, but 2025 will change League forever. That's a really big statement, obviously, to make. And, like, what could that be? My guess, and like, again, put your guess what it is in the comments below. My guess of what that is they're doing like a modern update for the game. Like, change League forever. What else could that be? I hope Jayce, again, he's going to miss another cannon. So this Jayce really doesn't go for cannon minions. He's like a Huzzy cannon on my own heart. Yone ultimate into Talia ultimate. Really good dodge. Fiddle's coming in. Fiddle flashes. Jayce will have to... Oh my god, he didn't survive, but he nearly did. So obviously, I will say for a game in modern, like, you know, solo queue, quite a lot of jungle attention in mid. Yeah, that is kind of normally the case. Again, it's another reason I stopped playing mid, because you just get camped all the time. And what's good is this game, Fiddle is helping mid. So is Talia is helping mid. But I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Let me know if you have the same thing. But whenever I play mid, yeah, the enemy jungler camps mid, which is very normal. My jungler don't help. And it's like, well, I'm just alone now. So Alistair went on walkies, left his Kalista completely alone, and that got Kalista killed. Alistair's just going to try and buy some time. He's actually going for an engage because Talia's coming over. That is kind of surprising if the red team bot lane die to that. Like, yeah, that was a bit sloppy is what I would say. Very odd. So Jayce looking for these kind of little cues. Any little bit of extra damage you can get off is the better, obviously. You know, yes, he does have... he's building Blade the Ruined King, so he does have some lifesteal. Jayce right now is on a much bigger power spike. Eclipse is finished versus Yone's components. So, you know, you might be thinking, you know, that was fairly close. Jayce stopped doing DPS after a while because he was saving his abilities to, like, make sure he hits them when he kind of goes back to his E. So Jayce played it well. Yone still does an incredible amount of damage output. Alistair's coming back mid lane, which once again is going to leave his Kalista by... That was a weird play by Jayce. He flashed on the spot. I think, honestly, what he was trying to do there, I think he was going to try and flash and go for a one-shot on the Talia. If I had to guess what that was. Oh, Fiddle didn't even finish one. That was bad. He left one on like 0 health. Ugh. That wasn't good. Alistair's still top lane. I don't get why this Alistair is roaming as much as he is, because it's just going to screw their bottom tower up and everything. And I don't think the Alistair roam is going to pay off enough to make it worth. Like, do the mid lane roam, that's fine. But then to continue going top, I don't know. If anything, to be honest, hey, look, it worked. I think that was just more Fiddlesticks misplaying. Jayce's TP top lane. Yone's got the Alistair. Jayce actually shut down the Renekton who tried to tower dive him. And Yorick now finishes off. Oh, wait, what? Wow. So all that just happened because Alistair decided to roam top. And the whole enemy team, apparently. Like, if you're wondering why the hell was Kalista there, honestly, the Kalista was probably fed up that she was now being left alone. She's not a champion that's supposed to be left alone. She's linked to an Alistair. So she's like, all right, I'll go for the play with you. And that just gave Yorick a triple kill and a Jayce a shutdown on Renekton. That's a very big play. But yeah, this game is going as about as expected. I don't think Jayce, again, maybe against the mage he could lane bully a bit, but he's against a Yone. Against something like a Yone, he can't lane bully as hard. Now, you may think, like, oh, Huzzy's doing well. He is 4-4. Like, he is dying a fair amount. This Talia, I will say, oh, nearly one shot. This Talia is focusing the Jayce, and this is a very normal thing that, unfortunately, mid laners have to contend with. And, you know, the Yone's not doing too well. He just misplayed that completely. The Yone's not doing too well, but he still has strength. Like, I know it sounds kind of funny to say, but yeah, that Yone can still dish out damage. He's still going to scale. Obviously, Renekton is more at the ticking time bomb of he will eventually just fall off. I know a lot of Renektons are kind of now transitioning not into, like, I need to win lane builds. His champion inherently does that anyway. I am seeing, like, this one, he's starting to build, like, scaling bruiser tank items. Because when you're a Renekton in mid to late game and you build bruiser tank, yeah, your damage is kind of falling off by that point. You can be quite tanky. When you're in ultimate and you're massive and you're doing these big AoE stuff, there's such a big target for people to go for. You can buy your team time. And that sometimes is really effective, you know? I'd say there's better champions to do that than Renekton. Oh my god, they were just bushwhacking in the bush. What the hell? So this is a bit of desperation from the blue team. Like, the enemy bot lane, when Renekton is here killing the tower, are waiting in this bush, and they both get double killed. That is a really weird play. Yeah, that right there is we're losing the game. We need to do something. That right there is what you call a bit of a desperation play. So they don't kill Jayce because, again, they don't have much damage. Unfortunately, Kalista got a bit screwed in lane phase too much, so she has not got the damage to kill that Jayce. Lethality, I would say, is probably better for solo queue in quite a lot of ways because you have so much strength in the early game. It's like impossible to lose the early game as a Lethality Kalista. You can see right there, by the way, Yone and Kalista were next to each other. They shouldn't be doing that, but obviously it's solo queue. People probably are getting slightly tilted. Hey, I need this farm, etc, etc. So Yone has completed his Blade of the Ruined King right now, and obviously Kalista being top lane alone, yeah, not ideal. She just stood still expecting to die there, by the way. Jayce, yeah, I think he hesitated of like, wait, are you running? And then she just stood still expecting death. She didn't even use flash, by the way. So not the best play by this Kalista. Yeah, I definitely feel that she's gotten tilted. And you know, sometimes you can... it's the modern game, man. Supports abandon bot lane way too early, in my opinion, and way too often. This Kalista needs to win lane, and the Alistar kept leaving lane, and she got killed like once or twice by herself when Tristana and Lulu stayed bot. It's not fun for that AD carry to be just abandoned, especially when they're a, hey, I need to win lane phase, like a Kalista or a Draven or a Lucian needs to do, you know? So Jayce doing a nice split push here. Maybe some vision over on the right would be good. But remember, if he gets this tower, it's 700 gold to this Jayce. It's an incredible amount. Yorick is now outscaled the Renekton, obviously. So Jayce should be prioritizing this tower. He's going to go for a bit of farm, and now a bunch of the enemies are going to try and stop this from happening, and they will. So that is the negative, obviously, of Jayce being that overextended, is potentially the enemy team should have let that die to minions, because that would have denied 700 gold. But yeah, that's the negative. If you don't have pure vision, which Jayce didn't really, you're just going to get jumped on.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So Jayce's build is pretty damn standard. It's the scaling build. How do you, like, what makes it scaling? Because typically the lethality isn't scaling. Mirror Mana. Mirror Mana actually gives you quite a lot of strength extra. And that is a good pickup for Jayce to kind of complement his lethality build. Obviously, Eclipse is still a very strong item. Arguably too strong in quite a few ways. Jayce is TPing top lane to try and stop the Yone. You can see by this symbol here, the bounties are on. Wow, he's actually not going for that farm. I will say this Jayce is very kill focused. So that's a lot of the enemy team. Again, if I'm not mistaken, I think the enemy bot lane was once again trying to do like a cheese play in a bush. Because I think Alistar was around here, Kalista was coming from here. I think they were trying to look for another cheese play. Jayce is trying to get revenge on the Talia. Keep running forward, and eventually, unfortunately, he just gets hit. Jayce is going to use his flash because, again, she's ganked him a lot. He should go over and just attack that, by the way. But yeah, I do it. I think we all do. When a jungler camps you a lot and you're like, dude, kill this. Just go attack it a few times. 120 health, you can W kill that. Oh, I don't... Yeah. Okay, he's waiting. He should 100% be killing this, by the way. That's 700 gold just to him. But yeah, when a jungler ganks you, you go sometimes the extra mile to kill that jungler back. Because you're like, screw you, you were camping me. And it does feel good. You can't hide. It does feel good to kill them. So Dragon is starting to spawn. So there is now, obviously, grouping happening. Renekton can only do so much. You know, he can't 1v4. He is alone, so I don't know why he was alone. Jayce obviously gets that shut down, and if we look at the gold diff now, by the way, 6.7, nearly 6.8, 10.5. You know, yeah, there's a lot of kills, but the farm is very even. Tier 2 tower is obviously very nice. I thought Triss was about to take that then. Well, like, why is Triss top? Why is Fiddle... Oh no, that's the real Fiddle. They should just be going over to go do Dragon. There we go. Yone misses, gets exhausted by Tristana. She's going to reset her jump, and Jayce gets the kill anyway with EQ. This Yone will not stop fighting, by the way, but that is typically what Yones do. There's obviously a reputation of why is it the 0-10 power spike for the Wind brothers, Yone and Yasuo, because they never stop fighting. Them champions can be really strong with being 0-10, you know, and what gives them champions a lot of strength is just item spikes, you know? Well, lethal tempo obviously. And obviously this game, Yone doesn't have it, and he won't have it soon when it gets deleted. Once again, I think the Renekton's trying to fight 1v... Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. The Renekton must be just getting tilted, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to go for kills, but... And just what I also like showing sometimes, you know, so many people expect perfection in high rating, or like you think your gold games or wherever rating you're in is like, oh, dude, there's so many trolls and they're mentals. This is right now a Grandmaster Challenger game. Nice E by Jayce, gets the Alistar up and gives him time to re-engage with the Alistar ult probably expiring. Boom, double kill, really nice play. But yeah, you see tilt in... This is like Grandmaster. Like, you know, like Grandmaster players tilt. This Kalista is 1 and 8. The Renekton is constantly running in 1v4. Like, if it happens in this rating, it can happen anywhere. And that's where a lot of time in history when people say, you know, oh, ELO hell, look at this Renekton, he's just running forward and that is just genuinely inting. In Grandmaster, this is where so many people say there's no such thing as ELO hell. It's just solo queue. That's the thing. Because, like, for ELO hell to exist, there has to be ELO heaven. There is no ELO heaven. When Grandmaster and Challenger have people like running it down and doing this, yeah, there's no ELO heaven. Genuinely. So obviously the Kalista by this stage will be AFK as well. So yeah, unfortunately this game did turn a little bit south, you know, eventually. What I like to show is that Jace was very, you know, active, but he was also playing smart. You know, in the early game, if he just tried to fight the Yone all the time, he might have lost. Both junglers obviously went mid lane a lot, but the Jace kept his head. He went side lane, got so much gold from tier 2 tower. He played well. He also, hilariously, a man after my own heart, if you will. He just ignored cannon minions the whole game, which is hilarious. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe soon you will see a Jace mid lane on the channel. I am tempted. But maybe not against a Yone. Maybe I'll wait until it's a mage. But this is also potentially, this Yone is a bit of a future, like, this is what Yones will be without lethal tempo. And, you know, where now they're used to fighting constantly straight away level 1, that champion is not designed to do that. The only reason he could was because of lethal tempo. So many Yones are going to have to adjust their playstyle of, oh, I can't just fight from the beginning of the game anymore. I'm a hyper carry that scales. I don't have lethal tempo to give me early strength. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime.